Hello and welcome to another episode of Laptop Retrospective, and today I have this beefy boy from a company called Kwumsy. Kwumsy sent this unit to me called their F1, which is providing you an extra screen for your laptop that is also a stand. So this was interesting. I always like to take a look at different form factors on the solution of adding an additional monitor to your laptop, and I have featured a handful of stands on the channel already. I am very curious to see how the two will mate together, if they do at all. I do want to say before we get any further that Kwumsy did send me this product for review. In other words, I did not personally purchase it. However, my reviews remain my own. So what we have here is a 14-inch portable monitor, and it retails for about $269 US, but I've seen it on sale down to $199 US. So in terms of cost, it sits pretty firmly in the middle of what you'd expect for something like this. The 14-inch panel is a 1920 by 1080 IPS with a 1000:1 contrast ratio and does apparently sport 100% sRGB. In terms of color accuracy, that's a pretty decent panel. And if you have a business grade laptop, sometimes that means it'll probably be better than the panel that's actually in your main device. And that could come in handy in a business context. So if we give this box a turn over, and this thing is quite heavy. I'm going to have to actually weigh it once everything gets out. We see that it has three primary modes, a detached mode, a portrait mode, and a landscape mode. You'll also see in the box that it comes with essentially the base, USB-A to C, USB-C, and then HDMI to mini HDMI. You would use these two if you don't have a USB Type-C cable to help connect and power the monitor. You can see some of the other specifications, which I've already gone over here. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and unbox it. The whole thing has a slipcase cover that we're just going to go ahead and stand this unit up and slip the cover off. We can see some additional specs of the display written on the side, including the refresh rate and brightness. And now the cover is off, we can just let friction take its course and remove the lid. We have some packing foam on the top. And the first thing that we're actually greeted with is the carrying case for this unit, which I'm actually kind of surprised to see, but I think it makes complete sense. This is kind of designed, I think, in my opinion, for the boardroom, maybe for a traveling presenter. So the whole idea of having a case for this to actually go in is kind of a first of its kind in terms of the solutions that I've viewed on the channel, and I'm really pleased to see it. I will say that this thing is big. It's big, it's got some heft to it, and that is just the area that we're going in. So if you are a thin and light road warrior, keep in mind that the mass of this is not insignificant. We do have a quick use installation card, if you will, that goes through the package contents, how to set it up, and how to store the device away. So if we need that, we will definitely look into it. We have a more detailed user's guide that has some of the same information, just in a bit more detail, as well as some pictures on how to get it running. And it appears that we also have it in different languages as well. On the inside, we have our USB Type-C cable. We have our USB Type-A to B to power the display if we don't have USB Type-C. And then we have HDMI to HDMI mini to plug into if we don't have a USB Type-C connection. But because I do, this is the cable that we'll be keeping out of the box. So let's move on to the main event. So if we undo this Velcro, which is very strong, I would say, believe it or not, maybe a bit too strong. A magnetic clasp might be better. We can go ahead and remove this from the sheath. And it is worth pointing out that this bit here on the end does not fit inside the sheath. And then we have some legs on the bottom to help elevate the stand. So if we flip this over like this, we can extend what they call the support arm. And then the monitor itself actually slides out, so it's stored in between. These two gaps right here are what the monitor slide into, and we see those two gaps here for the other orientation as well. This is what things look like with the monitor installed. It is worth pointing out, with this bar fully extended to be used as a base, there is a bit of lift on this corner here. And if we shorten it up, it does balance rather precariously. So I would recommend that you put the machine that you're going to be using on top of this as soon as you set it up, and in fact even before you install the monitor, just to make sure things don't tip over. You do have these 2 feet here that'll extend where the laptop can sit. Now, one of the interesting side effects of how this is built is that potentially, depending on how the fans are situated for your laptop, there is a possibility that this will actually improve cooling, as it allows airflow underneath due to the split design that allows these 2 pieces to expand. So that is encouraging. I don't know if it would be a significant difference for like 90% of the people using this, given the fact that it's probably going to be business consumers that might not be pushing their hardware exceptionally hard. If we turn our attention toward the display, we obviously do need to remove this cover here to reveal the panel, which is definitely glossy, but very clear. You can see one of my studio lights in there very easily. And if you want to use this completely independent, you can, of course, put up your kickstand and then just let this thing lie landscape. The one downside, of course, is that you're not... there is no way to put this in its portrait configuration using the kickstand alone. Your right-hand side has all of your ports and controls. So if we tilt that up, we can see the USB Type-C port, mini HDMI, USB Type-C for power, and then the rocking and roller button that accesses all of the menus. So you can press that in, and you can twist it to the left and to the right. Now that we've toured everything, let's go ahead and plug this thing in to a laptop and see what it's like to use. So overall, what do I think of this particular setup? I think that this is rather niche, in the sense that if this is a setup that you look at and say, ah, perfect, I can elevate my laptop, get a bit more cooling, maybe have a dedicated space in the room where a presenter might want to go so they can have their notes on one screen, their presentation on the other, or something like that. I think that this is a perfectly acceptable solution. I think overall, though, the majority of people that are outside of the context of businesses, boardrooms, or presentations, or mobile road shows, this might be slightly less appealing, as it's a lot of extra weight that you would need to carry with you for this functionality. I'd love to hear what you think in the comment section down below, so make sure that you're talking about it there, and I'll leave some links in the description if you are interested in picking up one of these for yourself. Once again, I want to thank you so much for watching, and if you do enjoy this sort of content, I will leave a whole bunch of information on the screen here for you to check out more videos like this one. Thank you so much, and I will see you next time.